Hey, good morning, everybody. It is past 9:30. So I would like to get started. Let these young adults have a seat if possible, if there's enough chairs. Thank you for sharing. All right, I would like to call the meeting of the Human Services Committee to order. Roll call, please.
Chair Swarzy,
Here.
Member Childress.
Yes.
Member Garcia. Member Desart. Member Galassi. Here. Member LaPlante. Here.
Very good. We have a quorum. I would just like to remind this committee that the pantry infrastructure capital grant portal opened, thank you. On March 15th, it will be open for 60 days. Do any members have any comments at this time? Yes.
Can I just welcome the students? There's obviously a lot of students here from Hinsdale Central's AP government class. So I just appreciate you welcoming here. And this is the Human Services Committee. So hopefully you guys enjoy this meeting.
Thank you. Thank you, Member Galassi, and thank you, students, for being here. The Human Services Committee is sort of the social services arm of DuPage County. Just to fill you in on what we do here, so.
For the record, Member Garcia and Member Desart have arrived.
But we were late because of another meeting. Just
I will put that in the minute.
okay. Thank
We just started, so
thanks.
we'll be good.
Okay, I will take a motion to approve our minutes from our Tuesday, March 5th, 2024 meeting, item
So moved.
240966.
Second.
Any questions or comments? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you. On to our DuPage Care Center. I will take a motion to approve item FIR 5824, a recommendation for approval of employee compensation and job classification adjustment for the DuPage Care Center.
So moved.
Second.
Okay, any questions or comments? Yes, Member Desart.
I love this person, the food services supervisor. I think it's great. I'm just wondering about the 14.5% increase. Was this a title change or a job change? Or are we just,
It's definitely a title change, and I believe Janelle is online.
I am here. So we're reclassifying the food service assistant to a food service supervisor to better align that person's responsibilities. So it's more about changing the position to a supervisory position instead of an assistant supervisory position. So it's not about the person, it's about the position.
gotcha. Thank you so much, Janelle. I appreciate it. And my gosh, he's there 24/7, so I'm not sure this is enough.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you, Janelle. Any other questions? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you. Take a motion to approve item 240967, a recommendation for the approval of a contract purchase order to Yami Vending Inc. to manage beverage and snack vending machines at various locations on county campus at no cost to the county for the period April 5th of 24 through April 4th of 25.
Second.
Okay, any questions or comments? All in favor, say aye.
Aye. Roll call.
Oh, yes, roll call, please. Thank you.
Member Garcia. Aye. Member Desart.
Aye.
Member Galassi.
Aye.
Member LaPlante.
Aye.
Member Childress.
Yes.
Chair Swarzy.
Aye. Thank you. I'll take a motion to approve item 240968, HSP 0054B23, amendment to resolution HSP 0054A23, issued to Maxim Healthcare Services to provide supplemental nursing staffing services for the DuPage Care Center for the period April 13th, 23 through April 12th of 24 to increase encumbrance in the amount of $28,715 for a new contract amount of $244,025, a 13.34% increase. We did get a motion in a second. Any questions or comments? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you. Under our travel request, I'll take a motion to approve 240969, a travel request for weatherization assessor to attend the National Home Performance Conference
Second.
and Trade Show in Minneapolis, Minnesota from April 8th, 2024 through April 11th, 2024. Expenses to include registration, transportation, lodging, and miscellaneous expenses and per diems for the approximate total amount of $3,566. And we did get a motion, a second. Roll call, please.
Member Childress.
Yes.
Member Garcia. Aye. Member Desart.
Aye.
Member Galassi.
Aye.
Member LaPlante.
Aye.
Chair Swarzy.
Aye. Thank you. Take a motion to approve item 240974, a travel request for weatherization supervisor to attend the National Home Performance Conference and Trade Show in Minneapolis, Minnesota from April 8th, 24 through April 11th, 24. Expenses to include registration, transportation, lodging, miscellaneous expenses, and per diems for the approximate total of $3,766. We did get a motion and a second. Any questions or comments? Roll call, please.
Member Childress?
Yes.
Member Garcia?
Aye.
Member Desart?
Aye.
Member Galassi?
Aye.
Member LaPlante?
Aye.
Chair Swarzman.
Aye, thank you. I'll take a motion to approve consent item 240970, Nova Staff Healthcare Services Contract Purchase Order 6400-0001 serve is decreasing in the amount of $28,715.36 to offset the increase to maximum healthcare services for supplemental staffing.
Second.
Okay, any questions or comments? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you. All right, thank you. We do have a residency waiver. I'll turn this over to Janelle.
Thank you. Good morning, everyone. We currently have 6 male, 10 female beds available at the care center. 4 beds have already been offered to the DuPage County residents. There will be no DuPage County residents being displaced by these applicants. The applicant is looking for admission to the care center. They lived in DuPage County in Wheaton, West Chicago, and Winfield. Applicant has lived most of her life in DuPage County. Children have lived all their lives in DuPage. Son has worked as a police officer in Carroll Stream, and applicant's family feels the care center offers the best care. So I ask you to consider placement.
I'd like to make a motion to approve this person to move into the care center.
Second.
You have a motion and a second. Any questions or comments? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? All right, thank you. Thank you, Janelle. And
Absolutely.
on to our DuPage Care Center update, Janelle.
So it's been a crazy week. Yesterday, we closed off our main entrance. So security, reception, everything had to be moved out of the lobby. We have a whole different parking system. And I want to just thank all the staff for their incredible coordination of all of these moves that needed to occur. They've been phenomenal. We know we're not, perfect. We'll tweak things as we go along. There's always some things that are unforeseen, but to physically move the whole system has been really remarkable. So hats off to the team at the care center for making that happen. In align with that, we're hoping to get the final things done for 4 North and get our letters submitted for temporary occupancy. They are been cleaning the unit from all the dust and drywall dust that's gotten onto everything on the whole unit. So bless the people that are cleaning it. When I last was up there, the areas that were cleaned were looking great. So we're hoping to start the lobby demo already started yesterday. And so I will be sharing some pictures. It's just remarkable to see how fast that occurs. And they were putting up the fencing to start the exterior work as well. So many, many, many things happening at the care center right now. That's
Thank
my
you
report.
very much. Thank you. Do any members have any questions for Janelle Chadwick?
I'd just like to, Janelle, thank you for the opportunity to play at the care center for the residents. I so enjoyed it, and I'm looking forward already to coming back.
Excellent. I was there and saw them, and it was interesting to see some of our lower functioning residents, how much they enjoyed your playing, Lynn. So we will definitely pick you up on that.
Wonderful, thank you.
Yes, thank you for bringing that up, Member LaPlante. Thank you for playing the violin at the DuPage Care Center. Wonderful, wonderful.
My pleasure.
On to our community services update with Meredith Keating.
Good morning. So this morning I want to give you an update on the emergency rent assistance program. So just some context and background, through a couple of different appropriations, DuPage County received about $50 million in U.S. Treasury funds for rent assistance. We entered into contracts with IDA, Illinois Housing Development Authority, because they were running a statewide program. And so they provided, they dispersed about $40 million of those funds to DuPage households, starting in 2021, I think it was. They did a couple of rounds of applications. The eligibility for that program was you had to be in arrears on your rent. You had to have a COVID impact. And I believe you had to be under 80% of area median. I think about 4,000 households and I'm using round numbers, about 4,000 households were assisted through the IDA program. with the average household receiving about $10,000 of assistance. The actual Treasury guidelines say you can receive up to 25,000, but there were, I think, very, very few that were that far behind with rents that were that high. So IDA stopped or sort of closed those programs in 2023. They are continuing, however, to use state funds to provide assistance for folks in eviction court. In eviction court, they have they've assisted about 1,500 DuPage households for about $15 million. So all of those eviction assistance funds that are continuing to be provided are not coming out of the DuPage specific funding. It's coming out of the statewide pool. So that means we still have, again, I'm just going to use round numbers for the sake of argument. We have about $10 million. So we've been working on sort of figuring out what our plan will be to provide rent assistance to folks who still need it. So hopefully next week on the finance agenda, you will see a contract it's sort of an open contract with a bunch of different agencies. So we'll be working with People's Resource Center, Loaves and Fishes, Catholic Charities, Outreach Community Services, and the Veterans Assistance Commission. They'll be doing the assisting clients in completing applications for rent assistance. Prairie State Legal will have a contract for legal services. What the program will be is that it will be for households below 50% of the area median income. For a household of 4, that's about $55,000. We will be able to cover rent arrearages of up to 6 months. So if somebody's up to 6 months behind on their rent, and up to 3 months in advance perspective. So the contracts will be effective April 1st, but we still have a lot of work to do in terms of the workflow and how this is all going to work. So we don't anticipate this program actually being fully up and running until probably July. What will happen typically is individuals will call 211, or they'll call us, or they'll call an agency, and they'll be funneled to whatever the appropriate agency is that's taking applications, either for that population or in that geography, or just sort of for the general public. The agency will do all of the work with the client, with the household, to gather all of their pertinent information. The information also we also have to obtain information from the landlord. So both parties have to participate in the program, in providing us information. The agency will pay the landlord. We will then reimburse the agency. The agencies will be getting a 10% admin percentage. I think the Treasury provides up to 15%. Is that right? Do you remember the ERA? Yeah. So, but we'll be providing 10% to the agencies. Let's see. We will, the primary focus will be on homelessness prevention. So keeping people stable in their housing. We will be able to rehouse people, but we'll only be rehousing folks if they have some, like a demonstrated future ability to pay their rent. So this is some individual who's currently homeless with no source of income. We're not going to be able to rehouse them because there's really no guarantee beyond 3 months that they'll be stably housed. Mm-hmm. Let's see. Those are the basics. Oh, the funds have to be expended by September of 2025. So we'll have just over a year. I think the contracts will go through January of 26, but that's only so we can make sure we get all of the closeout and all of the reporting. I think that's all the basics.
Member Desart?
Thank you. This is a huge commitment to our underprivileged community, and it's really exciting that we're, able to help people with this. So I'm wondering if we're going to do press releases, social media, closer to July, and really get the word out.
Yes. In the meantime, we'd like to, obviously it's a public meeting, everything's public. we're not making a big splash now. Absolutely not.
No, I said
because-
closer to
yeah,
July.
Sure,
Yeah.
yeah, absolutely. We will get word out. Well, we also have talked about reaching out to landlords that we know are housing lots of lower income residents so that, they kind of get a heads up that this is coming. But yeah, we'll certainly do, now, that being said, I think it's really important. $8 million sounds like a huge amount of money. It is a huge amount of money. If we only average 5,000 per household as opposed to the 10 that we're talking about 1,600 households. We know there are 16,000 renters who pay more than 50% of their income on rent. So we know it's not going to be enough. And so we have to be really careful about oversubscribing, overpromising, overwhelming the system. So we
But are
will-
those 1,600 on a list already? That we have identified specific households?
Oh, no.
No, they still have to come to us.
Right, right. I'm just saying that like, we need to be mindful of of what our messaging is. That, folks may be eligible for rent assistance and just kind of how that works.
Thank you, Mary.
And
Thank
I
you,
would
Chair.
imagine the agencies will be reaching out to clients,
Mhm.
know it on a
Absolutely,
regular basis,
Absolutely.
knowing who some of those families may be.
right.
Member Glassman.
Thank you. So the first group that you talked about, excuse me, the 4,000 households that received approximately $10,000, you said they had to be COVID affected.
Mhm.
Is that correct? Do you have any statistics on how they're doing now? Like since receiving the $10,000, are they?
That would have been
back on their feet, or?
Ida ran that program. I don't know that they were doing any it's extremely difficult in the best of circumstances to do follow-up on households that have received rent assistance. We do it on a very small scale for the much smaller scale, I should say. For the households that we assist with other funds, we do follow up after 6 months. I don't know that Ida has had the ability to do any kind of follow-up.
Member you.
Thank you. I am really excited about the fact that you said that it was actually going to be up to 6 months of rent because a lot of the programs.
Arrearage.
Of arrearage. So going forward, how much rent is it? Is it just a one-time thing that you're giving them or is it for a period of time?
It's a 3-month advance, 6-month arrearage, 3-month advance.
Okay. And for those same people, will you be able to kind of direct them into wraparound services or case management, or is that part of the contract? And certainly the family self-sufficiency program came to mind.
Yes, that's it. That's definitely something that the agencies would be doing. I mean, that's just sort of the normal course of business, what they do. They connect people to, financial resources that currently exist and then talk to households about sort of, their plans going forward.
Is that,
Yeah.
sorry, so do you mean like working at DuPage? Like that was a question of mine. Like if these people are only, if they're paying over 55% of their income to rent and we're giving them services, are we also connecting them to WorkNet?
Yeah,
to
it would
try to-
absolutely be a referral to WorkNet.
Okay.
If they're, if it's an appropriate referral, sure, yeah, that would be one of the resources.
I would just love to make sure that's part of the program and try to get them in a better position going
Right.
forward.
Right.
Mary, my question is, because the original program revolved around COVID related, is this still COVID related and?
I think, do they have to show a COVID impact?
It's in the Treasury guidelines. So yes.
So they have,
So-
but it's a pretty broad
Okay.
definition, I think, correct?
It's really broadly interpreted and it doesn't necessarily have to relate. So they had to be on unemployment after 2020 or had a loss of income or an increase in expenses.
Any other questions? Thank you.
All right.
Now, there is an agenda item. Do we need to vote on that?
No, there's,
Okay.
yeah, I'm not quite sure why.
Do we have any old business? Okay, seeing none, do we have any new business? Okay, I'll take a motion to adjourn. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Thank you very much, everybody.